Hello and welcome back to another certified OG shaping video. A few videos ago you saw how we bought an RS4 B5 in France. It turned out to be the cheapest one in Europe and we soon discovered why that is the case. The car definitely needs some love, so in today's video we're trying to do exactly that. We're gonna make the RS4 B5 great again. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Here's a quick little overview on what needs to be done to the RS4. First of all, the interior is absolutely disgusting. The car has white interior, which I'm a big fan of, but not in this condition. It looks like you rolled around in coal and then set into the seats afterwards. But not only that, the seats are also torn, so it will be pretty interesting to see if we get them back to original condition. Next up, the previous owner had a fable for blacking out some of the plastic parts on the car. Not only on the interior but also on the exterior of the vehicle, which I'm not a big fan of. We're gonna try to source as many original Audi parts as possible, which is gonna be quite a hard task, since these items have become pretty rare over the years. Later on, we're gonna take a look under the hood to see if everything's alright there. We can smell that the car is burning some oil, and these cars are notorious for having bad turbos, so I really hope it's not the turbos, but something else. We'll see about that later. Last but not least, the car needs to be lowered, we need some proper wheels, we need to wrap the car to make it beautiful. Apart from that, there's also a few minor other things that need to be addressed, but you'll see later on in the video. First things first, let's start with the interior, since this is the part which bothers me the most. Mani is going to start by cleaning out all of the interior and taking out all of the seats to prepare them for being properly cleaned. Yeah, it's day number 2 of making the cheapest RS4 B5 pretty again. As you can see, Mani did a pretty good job cleaning the car yesterday. He basically went well beyond expectations and cleaned pretty much everything. He even cleaned these areas. So everything here looks kind of brand new again. He also got some of the dirt off these plastic pieces and trims, which is amazing. Gonna show you the full result later today. Also cleaned the floor mats. The only thing he couldn't clean, obviously, is the seats are in such bad condition. You can see it here properly now that the seats are out of the car. They definitely need some love. And you can see it here. That's where Marcel comes in handy. Marcel drove all the way here from Germany today and he already started a little bit. He's going to clean the seats properly and then with a special mixture and an app, he's going to paint parts of the seats that are just, worn out over time. So basically my seats are getting repainted. The only thing we're not quite sure yet is what the color of the seats are, but yeah, Marcel is gonna try and find it because this is what the original color code was and you can see it's not really the seat color. Marcel has an app on his phone and with that he can just basically mix all the colors and then should eventually get the same color as the seats. So cleaning the seats and then painting the seats, that's what we're doing today, or what Marcel is doing today. So yeah, I'm gonna give the camera to Marcel and you can enjoy some ASMR seat painting now. Now this is where it gets pretty interesting. Marcel is cleaning the seats first to get rid of most of the dirt. With this technique he can remove around 70% of all the dirt and grime that has built up over the past 25 years this car has been driven. Now, as the next step, he will start by sanding down some of the seats and preparing them for the paint. It was quite a hard task to find the proper color of the leather, but after some trial and error we finally got the right mixture for the seats.
Ja, bisschen ist noch, ja. Ein bisschen was bei mir, ja. Das wird man so, oder?
Now we can begin painting them. On most parts, we'll just lightly apply the paint to the seats with a brush. But on the harder parts, he will use an airbrush to spray the seats completely. While Marcel was busy painting my seats, it was my time to change out the plastic pieces around the car's center console. He uses a heat gun to make the paint dry properly, which is honestly pretty satisfying to watch. On small cuts, he uses a special mixture, which is very soft once it hardens. So it's not really like classic glue, but it's specially prepared for seats, which is exactly what we need in this case. After all of this, it's now finally time to put the seats back into the car. Yeah, the car is back in one piece, and I really have to say the results are absolutely amazing. The car looks like new. Mani and Marcel, they did an amazing job. Thanks again for coming out. Ohne Scheiß. Interior for me is always a trigger point because I really like cars with like a clean interior. Mani and Gabriel, they know it by hand because like that's always what I'm like most important for me is the interior.
Yeah, and we clean it.
Look at this. Look at this. You can't tell me that this car is 25 years old. It looks absolutely... The only thing we have to do is the steering wheel and the shift knob. They get renewed. But look at the seats and everything. It looks absolutely amazing. The car has 150,000 kilometers on the clock. But with the seats, it literally looks like the car is fresh from the factory now. I can't believe it. This is insane. It will get even better overnight. Now the car still has the elephant wax on. Or like the seat still has the... No, you can see it here a little bit. So this will basically soak into the seats. And then it makes the seats last even longer. And pro tip from the professional, if you want your leather seats to be as perfectly shiny and to stop cracking, use elephant wax twice a year. Sagt der Chef. Oh, this is... Look at this. Honestly, I can't believe it. And this here is insane. This got so clean. All the... Also wirklich.
Everything. This side is also like new.
Yeah. I love white interior, but only if it's clean. Now that the interior is clean, absolutely perfect. I mean, the spec of the car in general is actually pretty cool. I really like the silver together with the white, but I still think the car needs some kind of color to make it stand out even more, because right now it kind of looks like a standard A4, if you ask me, if you don't really know what you're looking at. Later on in the video, I think we'll see what we do, but this makes me so happy to see that the car is now finally clean from the inside as well. Yeah, next up, I don't really know what we're gonna do next. We have to kind of organize a little bit, but I think probably the engine. You will see. Yeah, interior of the car is finished. Now let's wrap the car. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Car is now red, kind of like a Misano red-ish color. Wrap the car. Actually looks pretty cool, I think, but the car needs a few more modifications to be properly beautiful. And we're gonna do that tomorrow. So, see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, hello and welcome back. Next day, we're not doing the mechanical stuff on the RS4 like we said yesterday because the engine builder doesn't really have time today. So, Mani and my job today is to get all of these parts that we have accumulated very precisely from the internet onto the car. That was honestly a pretty painstaking experience, but Mani and Patrick, they did an amazing job and they got many original parts of the RS4, like original aluminium mirror caps, which are pretty rare to get. Then we have all these plastic parts, which are also pretty rare, especially this grill here. And Mani said the most rare stuff is actually, funny enough, this small clip, so that you can clip this into the grill in the front. And this is gonna be the new grill. Then we have some logos in the back, a nice little Alcantara steering wheel, which honestly is gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, we also have a Alcantara shift knob, and my specialty, we have TE37 wheels, which we're gonna put on the RS4. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. They are 18-inch. They are from an Evo, so we need those Adapterplatten to get it onto the RS4. And I don't know how it's gonna look, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Apart from that, we're also gonna lower the car and we're gonna weld the differential in the rear. But the good thing, we have a spare differential, so we don't really have to weld the original one that is on the car right now, because Patrick was kind enough to, well, he had this lying around, so he just basically brought it for me. And Gabriel's job today is to basically weld this 100% shut, so it will probably be the first RS4 B5 in the world with a welded rear differential. But on the E46 it worked pretty great with the welded rear differential, so maybe with the RS4 it will be also pretty good. We're gonna find out.
Gehen wir die RS4 aufroten?
Yep, no.
Wenn ich das noch mal her. Wenn ich das noch mal her.
No, we're gonna weld this, and then afterwards Gabriel will have to do the exhaust as well, or at least something on the exhaust. We're gonna have to figure out what we do exactly. So yeah, let's let Gabriel weld, and Mani and me, we're gonna do the rest in the meantime. Ja, dann mit was starten wir? Tun wir mal runter und die Radl auf. Okay, first things first, we're gonna lower the car and put the wheels onto the car, because I think this is gonna make the most difference so far. I always wanted to have a Misano Red RS4. Honestly, I cheated a little bit because this one is wrapped, but I still think it's gonna be pretty cool in the snow. We just looked at the exhaust. We need to do something about the exhaust as well, because the sound is so strange of this car. I think it's mainly because this car is with 2 pipes instead of 1, because most RS4 guys, Mani said, only use 1 big pipe in the middle. So yeah, this will be our later concern. First of all, wheels, and get the car down to the ground where it belongs. Perfect. We might have a little issue with the brakes, because the wheels maybe are not clearing the brakes.
Wo stehen wir? Da oben? Schau, da siehst du es. Das könnte man besser wegnehmen.
Ah, okay.
Ja, und da unten. Den Bugel ein wenig.
Den Bugel ein bisschen weg.
Bugel.
Ah ja, ein bisschen.
Aber schaut aber geil aus, weil es schön ausfühlt.
Ja.
Sag mal gescheit, Alter. Aber hinten ist kein Problem. Also hinten könnte man schon raufgeben.
Vorne müssen wir ein bisschen Feinarbeit machen.
Exakt.
Unfortunately, the wheels that I bought were for Evo 9, which means they did not really fit particularly well over the RS4 B7 brakes that I have on my RS4. The brakes were a bit too big, so we have to do a little bit of work to make them fit properly. Please do not do this at home.
Schauen wir mal. Brakes are now high clearance brakes.
Jupp.
Jawohl. Das ist echt wie neu. Gute alte Gartenzaunspray. Ey, das ist wirklich. Das ist ohne Scheiß. Das gibt's nicht.
Otto.
Alright. That took honestly like 4 hours longer than expected, but the wheels are on the car. That was kind of a pain in the ass to get the Evo wheels out of the RS4 because of the brake calipers at first, and also because obviously they were different. Lochkreis, whatever. Car is also now lowered because Mani lowered the suspension a little bit. Feuerwehrspick. Oh ja. Ja, das passt. Ah, hinten der Leiter schon noch ein bisschen was. Aber vorne passt es perfekt, Alter. Ich find's geil. Eigentlich finde ich es ultra geil. I've never seen an RS4 with the white T37s. These wheels are kind of getting my Markenzeichen now.
Sind Sie Single? Sind Sie alleine? Haben Sie heute für mich Zeit? Kennst du das?
Schlagersänger.
Ja, sicher.
Also der Arbeitsauftrag ist, dass 1,8 Liter reinkommen, und wir haben es richtig gemacht, wenn es jetzt aussieht. Es rinnt aus. Es rinnt aus.
Nein.
Es rinnt nicht aus.
Ich glaube, der Robi hat uns angelogen mit 1,8 Liter.
Ja, ich glaube auch. Ja. Das Hecktief fast 2,5 Liter. Ja, dann gib mir meine 500. Kommt schon, passt schon. Passt.
Ja, dann screwen wir zu, oder?
Öl haben wir drin.
With the wheels on the car, suspension looking right, and the differential back inside the car, it was now time to finally swap out all the plastic parts. Like I already said, it was pretty hard to get some of them, so putting them onto the car and removing the old painted over ones that look absolutely disgusting was truly an amazing experience, and it was also relieving to watch. Yeah, now the most important step, putting the RS4 logo into the grille. Yeah. Our very important black little piece that was so hard to... Yep, we lost this episode. Alright, got it back.
Aber wie kommt das eigentlich, das Klipser?
Also, ich... So. Ja, perfekt. Haben wir wieder ein RS4, endlich, und kein A4 mehr. Now, next up, it is time to remove the old crusty steering wheel and replace it with the new Alcantara one. I really have to say I'm a big fan of Alcantara steering wheels, since they give you such a nice feel when you have them in your hands. Same goes for the shift knob. Out with the old one, in with the new Alcantara one. Both steering wheel and shift knob are also incredibly hard to find, and truly godlike parts among RS4 B5 enthusiasts. After this, it was time to give the car a nice proper RS4 B5 sound, the classic note that we all know and love. And for this, we needed to change the exhaust from 2 pipes that it currently had to 1 huge pipe going all the way from the front to the back. Nobody better to do this job than Gabriel. So let's sit back and see what Gabriel can fabricate for us. This is Robi, by the way. Robi ist ein bit kamerascheu. Aber Robi, wir haben schon gesagt, du bist der RS4-Gott. Du schaust dir meinen Misano-roten RS4 B5 jetzt zu. Let's cut to action with Robi. Let's go. So first step to see if the RS4 is healthy was hooking up the PC and checking the VCDS to see if the engine is running as it should and if there's any error messages. Luckily for us, everything seemed to be perfect and we had no misfires in any of the cylinders. After this, it was time to check the timing belt. And Robi had to take apart all of the engine basically. There was a few cracks in some of the hoses, but all in all, it seemed to be perfect. Also, the timing belt was recently changed, which you can see on some of the indicators that were still on the belt, meaning that at least this is in a healthy condition. Last but not least, it was time to change the oil and the oil filter obviously, and then we were good to go. The final technical step was getting a brace for the gearbox, because as you saw in my first video, we had quite a trouble shifting from first to second gear, and supposedly this is going to make everything better, and this is also a very common issue on the RS4 B5s. So at the very end, let's throw on the Audi logos at the back of the car, and then we're ready to go. Yeah, and so here it is, my absolute dream RS4 B5. I always wanted to have a Misano red one. Obviously, Misano red is pretty much the most expensive color you can get on the RS4 B5. And I think this wrap is actually really close to it. I'm honestly even surprised how well it matches now in the sunlight. I think the car looks absolutely great. I was also a bit concerned about the 18-inch wheels at first, because Mani always wanted to have 19-inch. But I think for the winter time, it's going to be perfect like this. I absolutely love how this car is sitting right now. And I think we actually did an amazing job. I'm actually proud of everybody in the team involved. And also, huge shout out at this point to the guys from Chip Update. They were kind enough to send me a spare ECU so we can get all the launch control and everything programmed, which you're gonna see soon. In all seriousness, I'm really proud of this. We turned the cheapest RS4 B5 that we can find in Europe into probably what I think is one of the best looking RS4 B5s that I've ever seen. I'm absolutely in love with it. This car looks so good now from the rear. Also with the Audi logos and everything. It sounds so good. I'm not gonna show you, I don't want to spoil too much for it. We're gonna obviously make a video with it driving very shortly in the snow. The spikes work so well. We tested them yesterday already a little bit. It is honestly a dream come true. I always wanted to have an RS4 this spec as well with the white interior.
I absolutely love it. And it looks so good now from the inside. I'm so happy, honestly, how this whole project turned out. It's really giving me chills if I think about it. Perfect daily cruiser for the winter time. And now also shout out to Roby for checking the engine. Obviously, we did not really have to do much because the car was surprisingly mechanically in a very good condition. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do. And I hope you guys are all ready for the content that we're gonna produce with it, because as you can see already, it matches with the snow so well. It looks so good. Kind of looks like a fire truck. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was something very different than usual. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this, and I see you again very, very soon. Servus.
Stavo ballando la salsa, tutti mi balla, se la ballano in rap.